Hello everybody and welcome back. I want to thank you again for taking the time to view our series of videos regarding the effective transition from ICD-9 to the ICD-10 code set. My name is Michael Leiter, and as the director of our client executive team, I'm responsible for the implementation of best practices associated with the effective utilization of our MDeverywhere total solution. As such, I'm directly involved with our internal efforts and as such of our clients with the successful transition to the ICD-10 platform. To that end, MDeveryware is providing a series of messages addressing the transition to ICD-10 over the next coming months. It's not just about accepting and submitting claims, but rather creating an efficient and user-friendly transition which will enhance productivity without having a negative impact on the provider's revenue. We are sharing this information because there is so much to cover and to learn before we can all move beyond ICD-10 compliance to ICD-10 efficiency. Now in this video, I want to address the challenges ICD-10 is going to have on the traditional paper Superbill utilized by many physicians across the country today. Now in a little over a year, after more than 30 years of existence, the U.S. healthcare system is going to assign its last ICD-9 code. Moving forward, ICD-10 will be the classification system of record. Now this transition can be frightening, but also very exciting at the same time. Now these classification systems are very similar, but also greatly differ from one another. Moving forward, all of the ICD-10 codes are now going to be alphanumeric, not just the supplementary V codes or the external cause of injury codes, commonly referred to as E codes in the ICD-9 classification system. Now in addition to the structural changes associated with these codes, the length of the code is also changing, from the 5-digit maximum within ICD-9 to up to 7 digits within the ICD-10 classification system. With these changes, the volume of the codes used for reporting diagnosis are exponentially increasing from approximately 14,000 codes with ICD-9 to over 68,000 codes in the ICD-10 classification system. Now one of the biggest fears I hear from physicians across the country today is surrounding the time and the money it's going to take to make the conversion from ICD-10. And since a physician's time is money, this fear on the surface is very viable. The increase in the codes alone threaten one of the most simple but yet very productive tools in a physician's workflow, that of the paper Superbill. Now when it comes to the Superbill, many physicians have it memorized over years of use and can virtually complete it with their eyes closed. They grab the Superbill, close their eyes, circle an E&M code, circle a procedure code, flip it over, circle diagnosis, circle diagnosis, circle diagnosis, done. All completed within a matter of seconds, charges marked and submitted for billing. Now it's difficult enough today with ICD-9 to ensure that your Superbill encompasses many of the commonly used diagnoses that you report on a regular basis. Transition to ICD-10 makes this process virtually extinct. Now to further complicate the matter, the impact is even more squirrely and not standard across practices, and it significantly varies depending on the provider's specialty. To further reinforce this point, much analysis has been done regarding ICD-9 codes on the average paper Superbill and the subsequent conversion to the ICD-10 code set. Now a standard family practice Superbill, such as the one that I held up earlier, consists of approximately 150 ICD-9 diagnosis codes. This would see an increase of 450% with ICD-10 to over 800 reportable diagnosis codes. An orthopedic practice would see an increase of over 4,000% from the historical 140 ICD-9 codes to almost 6,000 codes with ICD-10. Now if you think about it in those terms, this is a very scary proposition. Providers are going to only have a couple of options if they want to remain on the paper Superbill. They can either use a normal sized piece of paper and reduce their font to 1% of the current font size and carry around an extremely powerful magnifying glass, or they can carry around on average 12 to 14 pieces of paper in order to be able to document all of their reportable diagnoses. Now I think we would all agree, since a provider's time is money, practices are not going to have time to do this.
Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time. Ain't nobody got time. Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got
Now, to proactively respond to this, providers need to address the largest impact outside of workflow. And that's going to be changes that are likely going to be required to the provider's technology platform. Assessing systems early is going to be a fundamental prerequisite on staying on top of this transition. Now, since the paper process will no longer be effective, providers need systematic assistance in selecting diagnosis codes to remain efficient. The use of clinical context and keyword searches will become a necessity for providers in efficiently identifying and selecting diagnosis codes following the transition to ICD-10 in order to maximize the provider's time and subsequently maximize their revenue. Again, a provider's time is money. Now, this has been at the forefront of our mission at MDeverywhere, and our Practice First platform has an integrated, robust language and code selection engine to efficiently transition providers. If you would like to learn more about how the MDeverywhere total solution will assist and save providers time during this transition, please view one of our series of informational videos, Building an Efficient and Compliant ICD-10 System. Now, we hope you found this information helpful. In the coming months, MDeverywhere will share additional ICD-10 specific messages, videos, webinars, and emails to help our clients, as well as the healthcare community, prepare for transition in this exciting time. At MDeverywhere, as a leader in practice and revenue cycle management, we feel it is our responsibility to share this information with the healthcare community at large. Because it's going to take us all to work together to move and go beyond ICD-10 compliance to moving towards that of ICD-10 efficiency.